What's going on, guys? My name's Gerard. Today we're going to learn how to frontside 5-0 stall. Before you learn this trick, you're going to know how to frontside axle stall and backside 5-0 stall. Frontside 5-0 stall is one of my favorite tricks, and it's the first step to learning, in my opinion, one of the best looking mini ramp tricks, the frontside grind. How it works: you're gonna come up the ramp. If you're goofy like me, you're gonna turn to the right. If you're regular, you're gonna turn to the left. Stall your board all the way up on the back truck at a little bit of an angle, turn your body, and drop back in. What makes this trick different than a lot of the other truck grinds like axle stall, 5-0, feeble, is you don't turn your shoulders to be parallel with the coping. So when you go up for a normal frontside axle stall, your shoulders are gonna end up parallel with the coping. The biggest change when you're doing a frontside 5-0 is you're actually gonna tweak your board a little bit into the ramp. So to do that, you have to open up your shoulders to guide your board to that angle. Just like with kick turns, axle stalls, anything else, your shoulders are gonna guide where your feet and your board go. So to get your board at that angle, you need to make sure you open up your shoulders to match the angle you want the board to be in. Just like a frontside axle stall, this trick is all about heel pressure. When you're going up to the coping, I like to have my foot really kind of flat in the middle of the board. I do hang my heel off just a little bit because it helps me get that leverage on the coping. But you're gonna come up and you're gonna have that pressure on your heel the whole time that you're turning around. What happens is when you're coming back in, you need that pressure on your heel to get that wheel to come over the coping so you can come back in without hanging up. If you're comfortable coming in from frontside axle stalls, it actually makes this trick a lot easier because it's the same feel. Pressure on your heel, turn your shoulders, and come back in. When you start getting good at this trick, I actually think it's a little bit easier to come in than frontside axle stall because your body's kind of already turned into the ramp. You're not going from your shoulders being parallel to having to turn them all the way in. But when you first try to come in, it's a little bit scarier. It's scarier because your board is now up here instead of on the coping, so it feels like there's a lot further that you have to go down, which is kind of true, but just make sure that you lean into the ramp when you drop back in and you have no problem. So when you're coming back in from the stall, heel pressure, turn your shoulders, and drop back in, and you'll have it in no time. Some of the struggles people have with this trick is, number one, getting into the stall. It feels really weird hanging onto that heel pressure. So what happens is you'll come up, try and put that heel pressure, and slip over in kind of a front side disaster. Some of the things that can help fix that: make sure you have your frontside axle stalls down really well, so keep practicing those over and over, just to get comfortable with that feeling of shifting your weight up on top of the ramp frontside. If you're still struggling, one thing that you can do is just practice riding up onto the ramp front side. So don't worry about stalling, don't worry about getting your truck on the coping, but just worry about turning a little bit front side, riding on top of the ramp, so you can get comfortable with that feeling of standing up on top with your back to the transition. The other problem I see people have is hanging up when they come back in. It's just a matter of not putting enough pressure on your heel. If you don't put enough pressure on your heel, that wheel's not gonna clear the coping, and what happens is your truck just turns on top and you get stuck up there. This trick feels a little awkward at first because you have to open your shoulders up so much. Really think about that when you're approaching the stall. Tell yourself, I gotta open my shoulders, I gotta open my shoulders. It's one of those things where you're so used to making your shoulders parallel to the coping at this point that it's not gonna feel natural at all. But once you get it a couple times, it's gonna feel awesome. And then when you drop back in, it's gonna be one of your favorite tricks. Frontside 5-0 stalls are a really fun trick, and the first step in learning, in my opinion, one of the best mini ramp tricks, the frontside grind. Don't forget, leave a comment down below, let me know what trick you want to see next, or what trick you want to see me learn next. And if you learn a new trick, send a video my way, might find yourself at the end of the next video. Till then, see you guys next time.